Again, when we're talking about the pre-settlement, it's really important to understand what kind of benefits your client is on. As we talked about earlier today, we talked about SSDI, and SSDI is the income stream that goes with Medicare. And we talked about SSI, and that's the income stream that goes with Medicaid. SSDI is the one that you have to earn. You have to pay into the system for the proper amount of quarters. It's also the one that we talked about that you have to worry about the 30 months. Once you qualify for SSDI, remember 6 months later you'll get that first check. 24 months after that is when Medicare or your health care kicks in. The reason why that's important is this. If someone's on SSDI and they're in that time frame, they're waiting that 24 months until Medicare kicks in, well, that threshold is $250,000. So if a gross settlement is $250,000 or higher, a percentage of it needs to come out and be put into a separate interest-bearing account, which is called a Medicare Set Aside. What that set aside does, it pays for all that future treatment that Medicare would have otherwise paid for if this injury did not happen. If someone is currently a Medicare beneficiary, so they've gone through that 30-month waiting period, or they're over the age of 65, that threshold is $25,000. So any settlement of over $25,000 or higher meets the review threshold for CMS to look at and review the Medicare Set Aside so they can understand how much of the settlement itself actually got put aside into that separate account to pay for Medicare's future interest for all of your future treatment. SSI is the income that one gets when they're on Medicaid. SSI is capped at $733. If you're receiving the $733 in SSI, you'll also get the Medicaid. As long as you receive $1 worth of SSI, in most states, you will continue to get Medicaid. SSI and Medicaid are not that of an age limit. It's that of an income and an asset limit. So therefore, if you have a minor disabled child, but his parents are over a specific limit, they won't qualify for SSI and Medicaid. But if that individual is 18 years old or older, living in their parents' home and they're disabled, they don't have a work history to get SSD and Medicare, but they will qualify for SSI and Medicaid because their parents' income cannot be deemed against them. The reason why that's important is this. Any settlement proceeds that an individual has that they take receipt of, and it's over $2,000, they will then lose their SSI and their Medicaid, which as an attorney is something that you definitely want to talk about with the client very early on. Set the expectations where they are, and therefore when the case settles, you'll have a happier ending per se. So the trust vehicles are in place, the client knows that, we can still go out and buy that house, we can still go out and buy that car, both exempt assets, and then the trust can be used to pay for anything for that individual's sole benefit.